Hi, this is Joseph with Engadget, and I have with me here the Ainovo Novo 7 Basic. It's what the Chinese company is calling the world's first ice cream sandwich tablet, and that's because this 7-incher runs Android 4.0.1 without any sort of skin on top. It is also a sub $100 tablet, officially $99. So you can imagine that it's poised advantageously in the market for people looking to buy into the tablet craze, but not willing to shell out the $600 or so that usually come with those devices. So let's just take a quick tour of the hardware here. You can see it is a 7-inch design, much like Amazon's Kindle Fire. In fact, the dimensions are nearly identical. There's, in most cases, a 0.1-inch difference. The major separator between this and the Kindle Fire is actually weight. This tablet weighs about 6 ounces heavier than the Kindle Fire, and you'll definitely notice it when you pick it up. It does have a bit of heft to it. You can see here it's very plasticky, and I don't know if you can hear, but it's also creaky as well. So the build is not premium, but then again you have to consider the price that you're coming in for here, and it's sort of a reverse Oreo, we like to call it, with this smooth white plastic, and here you have the black border around the screen. The screen is tremendously reflective, so even indoors with fluorescent lighting, it's very difficult to see what's going on, and you can imagine in broad daylight you'll have the same difficulties. It is not a 3G tablet whatsoever, so you'll have to rely on the strength of your Wi-Fi connection or Wi-Fi hotspot if you happen to be near one. And we'll just show you over here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of capacitive buttons that the company has put onto the tablet that just go along the right side. So you have your volume controls here, in addition to the volume rocker up top that's next to the power button. So it can get a bit confusing, depending on your preference, what you want to go to immediately. And then you have your typical Android buttons here, although there is no search. And then in terms of the ports, everything you're going to really need is all here on the right side. The company has gone out of its way to sort of clean up the device. You can see no other side bears any buttons or ports save for right here and then all over here. And they've clearly marked here on the back, I don't know if we can see this, but so you can tell what all the ports are. So there's your standard, there's your headphone jack, HDMI out, there's your mic, your mini USB, a slot for micro SD, a recessed reset button, and then you have your power port here for charging. The tablet does come with about 8 gigabytes of storage that is complemented by 2 on the SD card that's included. There are also 2 other versions you can get of this tablet. There's a 4 gigabyte version as well as a 16 gigabyte version. This is the sort of middle child. So let's look here on the back just so you can get a sense. There are dual cameras on here. There's a VGA front-facing camera, and this is the 2 megapixel rear camera, supposedly capable of 720p video, but as you'll see in the sample, that's nowhere near the case. And then down here at the bottom, you can see there's the company's logo, there's the speaker grill, and then its MIPS, because the 1 gigahertz Engenic processor in here is based on a MIPS the Xburst CPU. So let's go ahead and turn it on so you can get a sense of the display. This is an 800 by 480 LED backlit display, and it's much what you would expect. It's nothing impressive, but it does get the job done. And considering that it's running on a single core chip here, it is pretty fluid and responsive. We didn't really have any problems navigating through the home screens or even dealing with stutters and transitions. The only time we ever encountered force close was when we side-loaded apps onto here, and that's the point we'll get to next, is that even though you may see Shop up here and Android Market here, you have to be made aware of the fact that we side-loaded that. And we'll go ahead and show you, if we try and access it, it actually doesn't do anything at all, even if we try up here. So you are sort of blocked. Well, you're blocked from Google's ecosystem. You cannot sort of when you turn this on and set it up and configure it, you're not allowed to tie your Gmail account to this, and that's sort of the beauty of Android. So what you're left with is basically a web browsing and gaming tablet, and that's what the company has positioned this for. And you can see, we'll go into the app drawer. There is Angry Birds, and then if we swipe to the side, you can see we have, oops, we opened up Windows Messenger by accident here. If we go back, yes, I'm sure, you can see we have 4 different games here. There's Spider-Man HD, The Last Defender, Turbofly 3D, and WoW Fish HD. All passable games, but we don't think that you'll spend much time, more than a few minutes, just sort of curious minutes, playing around with it and getting used to it. Gaming on tablets without any sort of physical buttons is sort of difficult, and more than for a few minutes spent on mobile gaming, there's not really much of an immersive experience here. Turbofly does allow you to it's a futuristic racer, it allows you to fly using the accelerometer. But other than that, you probably won't pay much attention to that. And then here, just to note, is an app called Pandora, which fittingly is a box. Has nothing to do with the music service. When you open it up, you actually find out that it is a photo and video manager. So we'll go ahead and exit out of here and back to the home screen. So as you can see, we did sideload a few things. We have Engadget's own distro, which we did manage to actually get running, and then it somewhat annoyingly force closed. So as you can see here, we're not getting much again. So and then it shows up. You have to try your luck with what will actually stick. And then of course Amazon's Kindle, so you can go ahead and use this as an e-reader if you feel like it. We're connected to Wi-Fi. As we mentioned, there is no 3G connection for this. And we'll go into the browser here and show you that most full desktop pages will load in just under a minute. You can see we already have Engadget up here, but if we X out of that, let's see if we can open it up again, and we'll go ahead and try and load one so you can get a sense of how this works. So you can see it's pretty responsive, the tablet. You won't have really much problem, but that's because there's not much running here to bog the works down. And now you'll see just about how long it takes. So you see the page comes up fairly quickly, but for the majority of the ads and the photos to load, it does take a bit of time. Now, once it does fully load, you are able to pinch to zoom pretty well. Actually, here you can see it's not bad. It is a little bit laggy. Once the pages are fully rendered, it does move much more smoothly and track your finger more accurately. But that said, you're going to be doing most of your productivity on this slate will be simply web browsing or the included games that you have on here. Now we'll go ahead and show you the camera app on here, because the slate does have dual cameras. There is the VGA front-facing camera and then the 2-megapixel rear camera. And as you can see, it is completely sparse. The only options you have in settings is to adjust the white balance. Other than that, you cannot control the flash. There are no scene modes. And as you can see from the gallery, as well as the video that we took, it's poor performance indeed. In fact, with the video supposedly recording at 720p, the video that we recorded appeared compressed. The actual image appeared squished, and it was very jittery, very shaky, and the audio was very muffled. It was sort of overpowered by the environmental sounds. And then same thing with the pictures. As you can see, we'll bring some up. You can see things are very cloudy. Okay. Alright, we'll go into here so you can see the gallery. Takes a bit to load. Alright, and you can see things are sort of coming in slowly here. But everything is sort of sort of a dull gray overtone to it, and this is, I believe. There's not much detail. Surprisingly, there was a pretty good shallow depth of field performance on the module. But if you're picking up this tablet, you're not going to be picking it up to do much of your photo and video taking. So that said, who is this tablet actually for? Well, it's for people who don't want to shell out an extra $100 and pick up Amazon's Kindle. Should you hold off and go ahead and take the plunge on the Novo 7 Basic? We think not. It's actually money better spent to go ahead and lock into Amazon's ecosystem for a more solid piece of hardware, for a faster performing, better spec piece of hardware, and also you're tied into that retail and content ecosystem. So you have Amazon's retail shop, electronic shop at your behest, as well as access to their streaming library of video content and all of those ebooks. But if you have $100 to burn and you just feel like adding something like this to your collection just for the purpose of kitsch, then by all means, don't let us stop you. But you were warned. This is indeed a crap tablet at its very best. Joseph with Engadget. Thanks for watching.